God is good, and with each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is the Napalm channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you're interested in Pantheon-related content on our march to launch. Today, guys, I have something very special, very awesome to show you guys. Earlier tonight, at the time of this recording, Visionary Realms showed us the character models for the various races of Terminus. And it's super exciting because we've wanted to see a lot of these. We want to see the Dark Myr. I've wanted to see the Dark Myr so badly. And the Skar, man, they're looking awesome. I know a lot of people were a little bit skeptical after they said they were going to change the original artwork for them and to kind of make them a little less spiky, etc., so that there wasn't issues with the armor, etc. But I gotta say, they're all looking really good. So let's dive in and look at these one by one and discuss what we notice about each one. Let's go. Let's start with the Archai here. I mean, the texture work on these, the depth, the detail is definitely there. And I want you to also understand that a lot of the features like the hair or all the things you'd be able to do in Character Creator are obviously not here. These are very bare bones what the models look like currently in the development of the game. You can already see how much better it looks than when we've seen the Archai in parties and streams of gameplay and stuff like that we've got. You can see this major improvement here. And we get an example of a male and a female, and they're looking really chunky. They're looking really cool. Definitely looks like a race that I could see a really cool Dire Lord or Warrior coming out of. Very awesome. They're keeping that glow effect where it's kind of bursting out of their skin, which is part of the lore behind this particular race. But that rocky kind of rough skin thing is really awesome, and I think this is a really cool race. And I think now that we're seeing these models, there's probably going to be a lot of people who are already saying, I'm going to main that race. Of course, we'll be able to tell a lot more detail about these races and things once we get to a point where they start showing off character creator features and we can kind of see all the options that we have with that. But as a bare bones for this race, I have to say it's very cool. And now let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite races, a really cool race, the race that my wife Winter is going to play, as long as they don't take Cleric away from him anyway, and that is the Dark Myr. And that's right, it is pronounced Myr. They say it all the time now. The devs have said the word several times now. It is Myr. But anyway, I'm still going to accidentally call Myr all the time. But look at these models, man. Look at that green tone, which also they did say on the stream that some of these color palettes can be changed, like the dwarves. They don't have to be blue. These, they don't have to necessarily be this aqua green color or whatever. So just remember that as we're cycling through these. But look at the amount of detail that we have here. I'm going to zoom in on some of this so you can see it better. But they have like this scaly kind of look to them, the different tones in their flesh, the kind of fish belly, kind of whitish hue they have as it goes down across the front of their bodies. Everything about this model screams exactly what the race is. They also confirmed during this stream that the racial starting city is partially underwater. We know that this is the race where they when they're in water, they can get the fins like a mermaid, and swim. So cool, man. Such a cool race. There's a lot of really cool races in this game. Like, I think the gnomes are really inventive. The Skar, which we're going to get to in a minute. But man, there's just something about this one and the lore behind them that just really attracts my attention. I'm not playing one, I don't think. Well, I'm probably not. Unless if you can be a paladin, then maybe I will. But I just love it, man. The face here on the male, you can see where there's some markings. Kind of almost looks like fins coming up from his eyebrow. Now, I'm not sure, and somebody asked it in the chat during the stream, I'm not sure if the Dark Myr are always going to have the eyeball, you know, without the pupils and things, and the irises. I'm not sure. In these models, they don't, and it looks kind of cool that way. I kind of like it. Either way, I'll be fine, but very awesome. And also, as I mentioned in the stream, if you were there, you can also tell from this a new piece of lore that hasn't necessarily been revealed to us before, and that's that the Dark Myr apparently do reproduce the exact same as humans do, as you can see here. Let's move on to the next one. And next up, let's look at the Skar, man, because this is really exciting, and we got to see some different lighting on the models and stuff like that to kind of make it look a little creepier. And man, does this look cool. I mean, the Skar, this is absolutely fantastic. They look really scary. I saw some people saying they need lips. I don't think so, man. That is creepy. Imagine in a dim cave and you're just running around and you're kind of in your own zone or whatever, and one of these creeps out. I hope they make their eyes glow. I think that would be a really perfect addition to this race. If like at night in the dark only kind of thing, they hit a certain light, you see them flash or something like that. That would be really cool. But super creepy looking, exactly what I would expect from a monster type race, which they're not trying to like over sexualize them or anything like that by any means. The exoskeleton, we can see bones coming out, which I feel like is a pretty good replacement to the old version where they had spikes, and there are still some spikes just a little bit closer to the skin coming out from their forearms and across their shoulder blades, which once again is kind of the exoskeleton kind of look. They look very reptilian and also kind of insectoid-like. The nose with the kind of like rotted bone look kind of to them. The sunken in eyes, I mean absolutely everything, and I noticed on this model they actually did show hair on these, and the hair actually fits for some reason as well. It's just fantastic. The wrinkly, scaly skin, I mean I absolutely adore this. Also, when they were talking about this, of course you see it and you think, oh, that's an evil faction, like good, neutral, evil, and actually they said don't think of it like that. It's more of like each race has its own faction, period. Their own culture and their own faction and things that you can work towards, kind of leveling up your faction, that kind of stuff, I'm assuming. But very cool, man. Love the Skar, and I'm super impressed with it. And this was a race I was worried about, and as you can see, shouldn't have worried. It's VR. They're pros. They're really good. I mean, this is a really awesome, kind of out there, different race. Very different than anything I can think of I've ever seen in an MMO or any kind of game or movie or anything. Very awesome. I love it. So let me know, what do you guys think about these races and the reveal? We got to see the models for some of the races we've never seen before. Are you excited about this? Do you see how awesome and artistic and how good of a team they have to be able to build these models, these brand new races that they made up, and how cool they are? I'm just super excited, man, and I've been wanting to see some of these races for so long, the actual models, because we looked at artwork for them, you know what I mean? We kind of knew what they were going to look like, but to see them in the 3D model and get a feel for what they're going to look like in the actual game is one of the biggest reveals I feel like they've done. And that's saying a lot, because Ferret Hell was huge. If you haven't seen my video on that big reveal, please go to my Pantheon playlist, where I have somewhere in the realm of 200 videos of Pantheon, and find that one, which was posted last week. Great, awesome stuff there. But guys, let me know, what do you think of these races? What's your favorite? Are you still sticking with the race that we already had seen, like the dwarf or the human, or what have you? And also, they did mention they're going to probably be updating what classes each race can be. So don't even think about, well, I'd like to be this one, but it can't be the class I want to play. Forget about that. Let me know if that didn't matter. What race, just based on how they look and how aesthetically pleasing they are, which one you would choose. And before we go, guys, I just want to say a special thank you to the members of Napalm as we're growing. Guys, if you want to support this channel, please consider clicking the join button down below. I have several packages now that you can join. The Knights of Napalm officially become a member of this channel, and lots of features and exclusive things and content available with those packages. But guys, until next time, God bless and happy gaming.
What I say. I've been making videos all day. My friends all say I'm it's a video buffet. You can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize. But please just subscribe. And hit the bell notification too.